Welcome to the Northeast Kingdom Voice. I'm your host, Scott Wheeler. It won't be long before you might hear the footsteps of Santa on your roof. But before Christmas, you too can be Santa. Our guest today is Meg Hilton, the director of the Northeast Kingdom Tasting Center on Main Street. And she's here to talk about how she is going to help transform many local people into Santa, but for a good cause. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, tell us about this. How are you going to transform people into Santa?
The Northeast Kingdom Tasting Center is partnering with the Halo Foundation and is going to bring the Santa Run to Orleans this year, and with the help of our prime sponsor, the Community National Bank.
Right. Now, this is I've wanted to do this in past years. This is where everybody dresses up as Santa.
That's right.
And they run through the streets.
Exactly.
I think that's pretty cool. And if my schedule allows it, I'm going to actually do it this year.
You should.
I've gotten a little bit back into running. How far do I have to run?
It's a 5K.
5K.
We're going to start with a Santa parade first, with elves and caroling. Santa will be present in a fire truck sponsored with the Orleans Fire Department, and it's a 5K, so just over 3 miles.
Right. You know, this came, moving it to Orleans is a great idea because the producer of this show, Todd Peranto, lives there. So
he'll be there.
Yeah, Todd will certainly be there, and I am sure he's going to make one jolly old Saint Nick running a 5K, and I'm going to be interested in interviewing him once he's done, once he comes to.
Sure.
So,
we'll make sure we'll get pictures of him.
So, how many years has the Santa race taken place in this area?
That I'm not exactly sure of. In the past, Phil White has been the guy that puts on most of the races here. He is not actually part of this race in the organization of it, but he has been super helpful and very supportive from day one.
Right.
So this is the first Halo's Santa Run.
And for those of you who don't know what Halo is, and I doubt there's really anybody who doesn't anymore. The Halo Fund was founded by the Wright family when Uric and Mary, when Mary passed away of cancer, some of the family members, basically say that Uric died a short while later of a broken heart. So the Wright children were left without parents, and while they grieved, they also wanted to help people in Orleans County who were suffering with cancer. And not only do they provide financial support, but if you have cancer, they will even help mow your lawn, pile your wood. And this Halo Foundation just started just as a idea that has now grown into a real phenomenon, because all the money, it isn't like donating to a big organization. You donate to a big organization, you really don't know where that money's going. With the Halo Fund,
100%.
100%. This is not a job. This is a mission. So,
yes. I'm very proud to be part of the Tasting Center and partnering with the Halo Foundation. It's a staple in this community. It's a positive source of strength, and the values, the main mission, is just something you want to be a part of.
And one thing I like about them is that it's obvious that it doesn't matter how you spell your name. Because, some organizations, I hate to say it, for them to be taken interest, you have to spell your name the right way. The Halo Fund will help anybody, anytime who have cancer.
That's right.
So
they keep it all local too.
Right. So tell me a little bit about the Tasting Center.
So the Tasting Center is a local collaborative made up of 6 local businesses on Main Street. I started there in mid-July with the main goal of just promoting, getting the word of mouth out there, bringing that positive image back, and just reminding people what's there and to help them take advantage of it. So over the course of the last few months, I've created a few different events. September started the tasting series, where we invite local producers that we feature within the whole center. They come in, they do free food demos, and then guests are able to purchase those items in the retail section at all times. So we rotate in-house businesses, like Eden has done some cider cocktails and samplings, and Jocelyn Cinta did a sugar on snow donuts. Butternut Mountain Farm has done events in there as well. And we've got the coffee shop and Newport Cider House Bar and Grill. So the tasting series, that happens every Saturday from 11 to 2 with live music. There is the cider and crafts night that happens on Thursdays. I held an apple festival in October, and that was great because I partnered with Coventry Village School. Students there, their mission this year is community service. So I had 10 students there that helped me run all of the craft stations, and they received school credit for it.
Now, I've noticed the upswing in promotion. That's how I knew something was going on, because I do think it's struggled to find an identity because there hasn't really been that much marketing of it. So I commend you for really doing a great job, because from being a business person myself, I will say in this day and age, it's hard to figure out what works with marketing. It used to be you had the radio, and then 1 or then 2 newspapers.
Right.
But now you have social media. You have social media and multiple radio stations. Then you have just everything.
There's so many platforms. You have to pick and choose what the audience is that you want to come in, and that's who you go after. I mean, the first mission for me was just to raise awareness. People come in and they're like, I didn't know this was here, and it's been there for 4 years. It's been challenging, but I love the community. I love creating events like this, and I love food and supporting local.
Right.
I love getting to know the little farms and the little producers that are just a hop, skip, and a jump away, that we do everything to support and promote in that place.
And I know you're homegrown, as I am.
Yep.
I think a lot of times we focus way too much on what's failing or what isn't working. I think there's so much positive going on.
Right.
And I think it's great that you're spotlighting some of the local stuff. It's like one place I always direct people to is, I don't know if they've been involved with your group yet, is Coventry Falls Alpacas.
I know her personally. I know Mary, and we send people there as that hub and spoke. So when people come and say, what else can we do while we're here? So we send people up the hill to Coventry to see Mary and those alpacas and camel.
I'm going to tell you, there's something about Orleans, too, you'll find. For some reason, with my magazine, Northland Journal, Orleans is one of my top sellers. I have no idea why, but I think you have a group of people in that community who truly love Orleans, and they truly love the Northeast Kingdom. I think you're going to be very impressed.
We already are.
Right. And, as we said, Todd Pronto lives there. So they have their very own celebrity.
Todd's got to show up now.
Well, you know what? Todd's going to have to show up, bring his guitar, and I don't know if he can. I don't know if he can run and huff and puff and sing at the same time or not.
We need carolers. We need them.
So no, I do. I think you're going to have a great time, because I think sometimes, you know what? I think we all, including in my writing, sometimes we focus too much on like Newport. We focus too much on Derby, and we all know Derby is a booming community. So that's a happening place.
Right.
But then there's other communities such as Orleans that has a lot of spirit. Coventry does. Irisburg does. So you have. It's really great that you're touching Orleans, because I can't think of many other many other events such as this has ever taken place in Orleans.
Right, and it's, I don't really know how to put it, but like I spoke to Bonnie from the Carriage House,
Right.
said, you know, you're a big restaurant, we're gonna be here, and she's just, oh my goodness, what can I do? I'm gonna already have Santa on my front porch that day. I'm gonna decorate the place. You know, so the goal is to now partner with her and maybe have a little pre-registration party at the restaurant. Orleans Pit Stop, we're in. What can we do? The fire department donated their space, their parking lot, the truck for Santa to ride in during the parade, and the sheriffs donated their time to help us keep the streets safe.
Right.
And the thing about this race is that's different from anything else is the whole focus is family. We're geared towards the kids and families in general. All of the prizes, I mean, what people donated for prizes for these kids is amazing. I think that we're going to blast our goal of 50 people out of the water.
Oh, I was just probably going to say, is there a limit in the number of the people you can have? Like, because, like, for example, I ran in the color run in Essex with my daughter this year, and they have thousands. Granted, you don't want thousands
Right.
of people. But then there was the bubble run, which we didn't go to in New Hampshire. It's these races such as this, whether it's the color run, whether it's the bubble run, you might bring out some elite runners, but for the most part,
Right.
they're people like you and I.
You can walk it, you can run it.
And you can have a lot of fun. But
Exactly.
I think 50 is lowballing it personally.
Well, we want to set it and then blow it out of the water.
But is there a maximum? Like, can you have 100? Can you get 100 suits or not?
I don't know if we can have 100 suits. We can take on 100 runners. When the suits are gone, they're gone, but people are more than welcome to join.
Right.
And I think that we're gonna, when the list goes out of what these prizes are, you can walk it or run, but I know my kids heard me rattling off some of the prizes, like, they want to run because they want to be on that list to get some of these great prizes. They're all donated by local businesses.
Right. So what's the date of this again?
The date is Sunday, December 10th. We will do a pre-registration from 10 to 11, and the race will start at 11 a.m.
Can you register in advance?
We can. We just went live with the website, and that is www.runreg.com/Halos Santa.
Right. I will predict that you're going to, especially with you, because as I said, if you promote it as well as you're promoting the Tasting Center, I think it's going to be great. You've promoted the Tasting Center so much. I've even offered, hey, come to work for me too.
I might take a stab at that.
Do you have a background in marketing, or do you just
don't.
like people?
I just like people. I've been in customer service for as long as I can remember, and I lived in New York for 9 years, where I worked in some great restaurants and for some great entrepreneurs. So I just picked it up. I think it comes kind of natural to me, and I have strong ties to this community, which working at the Tasting Center helped me realize.
Right.
Honestly.
Yeah, and as I said, you were born and raised here.
Right here.
Yeah, because I've known your mother back from my days when I worked at before I went to college. I worked at Columbia Forest
Yep,
Products.
both my parents worked there.
Yeah, so what else will be taking place that day besides the run?
So we have the run, we have the parade. We will have transformed the Orleans Fire Department into Santa's workshop.
Right.
So we will have tables there that have been sponsored by local businesses, cookie decorating, writing letters to Santa with a magical red mailbox where letters will go in that mailbox right to Santa. Santa will be there. We have apple cider and donuts. We have a few vendors that will be there. Eden Specialty Ciders will be there and donating a percentage of their proceeds back to Halo. Music and caroling, coloring stations, ornament decorating. It's going to be a true Santa's workshop.
Do you have quite a few people working on this?
So far, it's been Cassie Moulton for Halo Foundation, Darcy LeBlanc from Columbia Forest Products, and myself from the Tasting Center. The three of us have been spearheading this.
You know, sometimes though, small groups actually
And we work
better.
really well together.
Because sometimes, I've watched this with various organizations. You have sometimes those organizations have meetings to talk about the next meeting, and they never accomplish anything. Whereas if you have a small group of people who really know each other, who really know everybody's strengths and weaknesses,
Right.
you get far more done.
We do. We have weekly meetings where we assign each other tasks that need to be done before the next meeting. Cassie's very organized, so we get spreadsheets and checklists, and we email each other constantly. Yeah, it's great. And I mean, Darcy LeBlanc will take most of the credit for the prizes. She's the one that did most of this outreach. These kids will be racing for things like a week's tuition at Bobby J's Triple Threat basketball camp. She's a Hall of Famer from Linden State College basketball. They donated a week's of their basketball camp. Hosmer soccer camp, 1 week. J Peak water passes for 4. A Smuggler's Notch bash pass. I mean, these are amazing things for these kids, and they're all athletic. They're all going to keep them moving. It's all maybe giving them the opportunity to do something that maybe they wouldn't want to do prior. I mean, Darling Hill horseback riding lessons. I mean, these are great prizes for these kids, which is very important to us.
You know, as I said before, there's so much focus on what isn't happening in the kingdom. People forget all that is happening.
Right.
And they forget all the great businesses, big and small, that we do have here. You know, I think sometimes we focus too much on Newport and to a degree on Derby, while there's more to that in
Right.
Orleans County, and there's so many good Newport businesses, so many good Derby businesses, but out there too,
Right.
there's so many good.
And we're bringing exposure to these people that were just more than willing to, say, hey, listen, this event is really for kids and family. Your business is for kids. Let's help each other. Now we're putting your name on this wonderful event and bringing more exposure to horseback riding. Maybe one kid will win this and that's their thing. Or maybe they wouldn't go for a number of reasons.
Right.
And now we've given them that opportunity. And I mean, we've got 8-foot stockings that will be raffled off at the workshop as well,
Right.
full of goodies.
If this works, well, I shouldn't say when. I shouldn't say if. It's when this works out.
That's
Do
right.
you plan on having this to be an annual event?
Yes.
Yeah. Because, as I said, the uniqueness will attract.
We're already
people to
thinking
it.
about next year, but just being in the first one, we wanted to make sure everything that we did well. And so we definitely have some stuff on the back burners that we want to add for years to come. And hopefully it keeps growing and the support keeps coming.
Right. And I think Orleans is a great place too, because it has, some of the bigger communities, I think it's harder for the traffic situation. Orleans is a nice community,
Right.
nice sidewalks, and have you mapped out your course yet?
Darcy and Cassie have mapped out the course. They did that on Sunday.
How hilly is it?
I think that they're going to run it one more time just to make sure that we don't do anything that's super challenging. I think there's one hill right now.
Next time they go out running, I'll tell you where Todd lives, and
Make sure you run right by his house.
No, they can pick him up, and we will have him report back in how hilly the course is.
Okay.
Because I think Todd would really appreciate a 3.2 mile run, out of the blue.
Yeah.
So,
The fresh air is good for you.
but I'm really hoping because even when Phil used to do it, I used to think I'd really like because I like to do, and I say stupid, I mean it's fun to be foolish.
Right.
And what's more foolish than
Dressing up
dressing
like
up as Santa and running through the street?
Exactly.
And,
but it's fun. It's good fun.
Right, and that's it. Are you even timing the race if you want to be timed?
Yes, we have already had a great handful of people volunteering to help us with timing, to help us with water stations. So the race will be timed. But like I said, it's a fun run. You know, we're not expecting to go out and break records, but we hope that that competitive spirit's there a little bit because the prizes are so great.
Now, it only seemed logical. Everybody wants to give Santa cookies when he comes down. You ought to have a cookie station. If we're going to be Santas, we ought to have cookie stations. And
I know that Village Pizza has donated pizzas for the event. The cookie part is cookie decorating that will be for the kids.
Right.
So you might have to talk to kids if you want a cookie.
You know, there's a race that I'm not sure if my kids have taken part. My two boys live in Maine, but there's a race up there. It's kind of a spoof on running, where it's basically like a junk food race where you have stations, like you have to run to McDonald's, have a hamburger and a milkshake, and then you run to the next one. It pokes good-natured fun at, you know, it's a time where local non-athletes get to do it, but then runners like my boys get to have just a little fun poking at what they do, but you also have to have a cast iron stomach.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do that. I might make it to the first station.
So, are you even planning, like, is this going to be like a series of things that the Tasting Center and the Halo are joining up with, or are you just trying to survive to get through this one?
Well, we're going to get through the Santa run first. Like I said, I found that I've worked extremely well with Cassie from the Halo Foundation and Darcy. I would be more than willing to organize anything with either one of those two again. So I would leave it open.
I get a hold of them, and this time they got a hold of me to ask to have this promoted. And you know, if I know somebody with cancer, or for anything, it's like bang, they get back to you,
right.
and they get the show on the road. A lot of people even get their checks, and they don't even know, like, how did anybody know I had cancer? And
right.
Of course, I think with social media that gets out there pretty well.
Well, I think that kind of focus and that kind of also, you know, moving forward at that pace where there's no lull, you can trust them.
Right.
You know, when things they make things happen. It's something I'm very proud to be a part of right now.
Again, the date is
December 10th
at
the Orleans Fire Station.
Right. And what time is registration?
You can pre-register from 10 to 11 at the station. The race will start at 11. Or you can go online at runreg.com/HalosSanta. That website is live as we speak, and you're more than welcome to hop on and get your suit.
Can anybody register if they're down visiting your tasting center?
Yes. You can. We will have flyers that are being printed right now. You can leave your information with me. You can call me at the tasting center, 334-1790, extension 6. Leave me a message, and I'll make sure you get on the list.
Right. What more would you like to say as we...
want to thank our local sponsors, our prime partner, Community National Bank, who has helped us present this, Halo Foundation, the Tasting Center, the local businesses and community of Orleans, and anybody else who has donated their time, their money, their product, or their space for us in completing this amazing family-friendly event.
Right. And as I said, it isn't if it's going to succeed.
It's when.
It isn't even when. It is going to succeed.
It is.
I have no doubt about it. And although you don't want a ton of snow, it would be kind of nice if it was a little
just enough to make it like a winter wonderland.
Right. So. Okay. Well, thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much.
You did a great job, and you're doing a great job with the Tasting Center.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to the viewers for tuning in to another segment of the Northeast Kingdom Voice.